Chapter 6 Women and Dionysus, Celebration of Life. Quote, an ancient hymn to Dionysus from Euripides, the Bacchae. Blessed are they who keep the rites of the mother, Cybele. End quote. What does the term Greek god suggest to you? Most people would think of Apollo, the god of light and truth. Blonde, bronzed, and made of muscle, he is the prototype of our cartoon superheroes. The sensuous Dionysus is everything Apollo is not. Born male, Dionysus was raised as a girl by the nymphs. Greek art portrays him sometimes as an old man, most frequently as an effeminate youth. On Olympus he took the seat of the goddess Hestia, both replacing her and carrying on her tradition. Our society is not comfortable with Dionysian ambiguity. The ancient Greeks, on the other hand, had a fairly relaxed idea about what constituted the proper expression of male sexuality, and so we have another reason for Dionysus' absence from our lives. Just as we use neckties symbolically to separate our minds from our bodies, we also tend to allocate one set of psychological experiences to men and another to women. To men we give the head, logic and discrimination, the finding of facts. To women we give the body, emotion and intuition. This is the realm of Dionysus. Perhaps for this reason Dionysus has always been and especially beloved by women. The Maenads. It is ironic that modern women often feel estranged from the ecstatic experience. The original Dionysian worshippers were the Maenads. These wild women of the mountains were the last devotees of the great goddess, the ancient matrifocal religion that the new patriarchal order was beginning to replace. They took their god, Dionysus, off into the woods to do their night revelry, the women's mysteries into which Rhea had initiated them. The women's mysteries were always held at night and were so secret, and the secrets so well kept, that today we do not really know exactly what went on. According to Monica Soule and Barbara Moore, quote, anthropologist Jacquetta Hawkes believes that the ecstatic mystery religion of Dionysus, the tender-faced and curly-haired son of the Cretan Great Mother, was originally the cult of the great goddess herself and her wild orgiastic women. The Maenads possessed the magical power to make the earth blossom. Rites were performed on the mountaintops, and to the touch of these wild women's wands, streams of wine and water, milk and honey, broke free and flowed from the rocks. In their fury, at the dark of the moon, they would tear any man to pieces who happened to cross their path or entered their sacred precincts. Dionysus himself was torn apart ritually and eaten as a sacrament. End quote. Some stories have it that the Maenads were so intoxicated with the joy and ecstasy and abandon of their god Dionysus that they finally tore him to pieces and set him to the underworld, the realm of Hades, where he was fermented as the grape is fermented as he came forth in the wine, in his present form. The life force. To worship Dionysus is to worship the life force. The pirates who tried to bind Dionysus tried in effect to bind the ecstatic principle of organic growth, found they could not do it. Grapevines grew in wild profusion, ivy twined madly, and wine streamed down the deck of the ship. The vibrant energy of the earth inevitably triumphs over human efforts to suppress it, just as the trees' growing roots will eventually burst through the concrete sidewalk that has been laid over them. As the Greek society and psyche began to move from the emotional, feeling-level female values to the rational, masculine world, the old goddesses became less influential. When Hestia stepped down from Olympus to give Dionysus her seat, it signaled a new era. For the Greeks, Hestia was the original carrier of the ecstatic principle. Sacrifice to her was an integral part of the daily life of ancient Greece. Her household duties of cooking and firing the earth were invested with the ecstatic experience, and the women who carried out these activities in daily life were carrying out the ecstatic principle. The ancient matrifocal cultures valued the mother above all. Strange though as it may seem, for many thousands of years the role of the father in procreation was not understood. It is natural then that our ancestors so greatly respected the qualities of the mother: home, birth, growth, nurturing, caring, empathy, and prized them as life-sustaining. They nurtured these psychological qualities in themselves, and the sensuous Dionysus was a new twist in a long tradition. Our society emphasizes the tangible masculine values: aggression, power, winning, success, facts, intellectual abilities, concrete proof. The less tangible feminine values carry little weight. As a result, many women today feel that there is no place in the Dionysian experience in their lives. But they must remember that it was Hestia who was the original ecstatic, and that there is the very essence of ecstatic life in the most ordinary of so-called feminine activities. A woman who cooks for her family sustains their lives. A woman who cleans the home and keeps it a safe environment that encourages growth. And in the ultimate female function of the giving birth into another human being, a woman ensures the continuance of humankind. With the exception of giving birth, of course, there is no reason why men cannot and should not also share in the nurturing processes and enjoy the sensuous life. There is no reason why women cannot lead lives of strength and wisdom. This is what it means to touch Dionysus, to feel a part of the ecstatic, creative, and eternal force of life. When we no longer relegate one set of values to men and another to women, when we can finally be equally male and female, we will touch the Dionysus, the divine androgyny.